Hey guys, thanks for clicking on this video. I'm Moto Marie, and of course you can just call me Marie. And as you can see from the title, today I am going to be posting or sharing my day one 75 hard before photos, basically. So this is going to be kind of tough because I am showing you a before photo when I am in desperate need of a fitness journey without the after. So if you haven't watched any of my previous videos, you definitely should. But over the next few months, I'm going to be doing the 75 hard challenge. If you don't know what that is, definitely check out one of my last videos where I go over the rules and the details of the challenge. But essentially, I am going to be doing 2 workouts a day, following a strict diet, and a couple other things that are important, but not necessarily to this video. So it is a physical and mental toughness challenge that I have to do over the 75 days. And if I were to fail to do any of these tasks throughout the whole 75 days, then I have to start over. So there is no getting to the end of 75 days and being like, oh, I didn't mess up that much. I only messed up 3 times. If I forget to do one thing, then I have to start all over. So one of those things is to take a progress photo. And in this challenge, you have to take it daily, which seems a little crazy to me, but maybe that's keeping you hyper focused on whatever your goal is. So part of this challenge is to not only lose weight. Technically, if you wanted to use the challenge to gain weight, you could. It's just to lock in, be disciplined, develop your consistency a little bit more, and just basically practice your discipline muscle over the next 75 days. So with that said, in this video, I am going to share my 360 turnaround before video, basically. And in addition to that, I want to kind of show you where I have come from. Because if you see my picture that I took today, then you don't know me that well yet. But I want you to see where I came from. So for the most part, I am a very small girl. So I am 5'4", and you'll hear my weight towards the end of the video. But growing up, I was 90 pounds dripping wet. Now those days don't really matter because I grew up and I had kids. So we'll just talk about from when I had kids to after. So after I had kids, I was still averaging between 110 to 150 pounds for the first few years, and then later got down to around 125. So in this video, I want to share with you some pictures, and so I am going to pull them up now and describe the time period that those are for. So we're just going to call these pre-2020 and post-2020. That way I don't have to worry about being specific to exactly what year, but just know they're all within 3 to 4 years of pre-2020, and obviously they're post-2020 within the last 4 to 5 years. So I will stop chatting and start to share the pictures. And normally I wouldn't ask this early in the video. I might ask later in the video after I've grabbed your attention. But because this is a very difficult video for me to make, I'm gonna ask you to at least hit the like button. If not, do a whole subscribe and like. Because this is not easy. Like I said before, I am just showing what I look like now as a person that has eaten unhealthily and not really moved my body over the last 6 to 8 months, but I've progressively gained weight over the past few years, with the last 2 years being the biggest jump. And you'll see that in these photos. So please give the video a thumbs up, and here we go. Now the first few pictures are going to be easy to pull up because these are going to be post having babies a few years before 2020. And I'm saying just before 2020 because I don't know if I can say that other word that describes that time period. You know what I mean. So I just kind of want to give you an idea of quite how small I was and how small technically I could be, because I still have the same bone structure. This picture here is when I went to a aviation museum. So I was just walking around. This is not necessarily the best photo because I have on a peplum shirt, so it kind of makes my hips and my waist look a little wider than it was, but you could definitely see my arm and my legs are definitely slim. And then I have another photo where I was on some type of vacation. This was probably Cancun, and this was just me in a bikini on a beach. Now this photo is a little more significant because I remember that I had gained weight, and gained weight for me at that point was I probably got up to like 115, 117 pounds. And before I went on vacation, I wanted to do a transformation challenge basically. So not that I thought I was big, but I know a friend that was starting a private coaching business, and so I signed up for like their 8-week transformation. So this is me kind of growing a little bit more muscle. I leaned out quite a bit, even though this is probably after a couple days and a few drinks, so I look a little bit fluffy. But in this next photo here, you can see that my muscles were popping and I was really quite thin. So this was somewhere between 110 and 115. This is a face photo just so you can kind of get an idea of what my face looked like. So I will always have big cheeks. I was just born with big cheeks. I have big cheeks, which I love, but as I get a little bit fatter, those always get fatter. But this was a time where I was around 115 pounds, and you can see that my cheeks are definitely there, but for the most part, my face is pretty slim. And that was a cute shirt, and my hair is cute. Oh, by the way, if my hair looks a little bit of a mess, remember today was day 1 of the 75 hard challenge. So I did 2 workouts today along with my normal 9 to 5 and everything else that life threw at me. So if I don't look exactly perfect, sorry about that, but I really wanted to get this video out to you. Things are gonna start to feel busier with me doing 2 workouts a day and trying to fit all that in. So yeah, I didn't have time to get perfect for today. So just disclaimer basically. All right, so let's do post 2020. So around 2020 and after, I had what most would call a life event. That's what they have in insurance, right? When you want to report that there was a big change, they call it a life event. So I got divorced, and during that time, getting divorced wasn't the issue. It was how much it cost and the stress that it all caused, and moving and all the stuff that came with that. So that was basically a year plus of a whole lot of stress. Now, I don't think I have pictures of the weight that I had gained, but right before 2020, I had gained a couple pounds, and your girl was looking good and curvy, but I had gotten up to about 120, 125 at that point. So I had a little more meat on my bones, but not overweight or obese, certainly by any means. But by the time I started going through all of this time in my life that I was stressed out, I still didn't have a lot of weight to lose, but I started to lose it and it was falling off me like water. I was stressed out. Now, some people eat when they're stressed out. I could not eat anything. And even when I felt like I was still having at least 2 meals a day, it didn't matter. My weight was just falling off of me. And like I said, I did not have it to lose. So here's a picture of, I think I was in a spa, and you could see just how small I had gotten. Now, I stopped paying attention and getting on the scale when I realized I had reached 107 pounds. Because at that point I realized there's nothing I can do about it. I'm trying my best to eat as much food as I can to stop this from happening, but that was the last time I looked. So I don't know what my actual lowest was, but I basically had gone from 125 pounds down to at least 107 within a matter of 6 to 8 months. It was very unhealthy. It was an unhealthy way to lose weight. It was just like if I had some kind of chronic illness and wasn't able to eat. It didn't look good on me. I was losing muscle. My skin was all gray. I basically looked like a sad cloud for the most part. But anyway, life went on, and so the divorce happened, moved on, life was great. That's when I started to ride motorcycles, hence the name Moto Marie. And with that, I met a bunch of friends in a motorcycle group. A lot of them are my friends to this day. I also eventually got into a relationship, so all that good relationship happy fat started to come on me, and I needed it. I mean, I noticed that the weight was coming on, but like I said, I was very underweight at that point. So I needed the additional calories, the additional weight, so I wasn't like a bag of bones, basically. I'm not tall by any means, but still 107 pounds for me was a little too thin. And I'm a mom, so I don't like not looking like a mom. I basically look like my son's sister. and he hated going out with me because people thought we were dating, because I was just like this little bit, and then he was bigger than me, so it was ridiculous. So as I gained weight, I was very, very happy about that. I noticed my clothes was fitting a little tighter, but I'm not really much of a fashionista or a girl that shops a lot. So I still had the clothes from when I was bigger, between 115 and 125 pounds. So I just started wearing those. It wasn't a big deal. I knew I could still fit those, so everything kind of went well. Until, so that went on for years. And when I say that your girl was outside, I was outside. I was enjoying life. Because we were riding motorcycles at a time when the world was shut down for the most part. So we would travel to different states and go to different outdoor restaurants, and eventually past that point, and when everything opened up, I went to raves and kickbacks and parties. This is all to say that even though I needed to gain some of that weight back, eventually it started to get out of control. But during this time, for like a couple years, I was just happy. I was around people that liked me for me, like nobody cared. You know, who cares if your friend is a couple extra pounds than when you met them a couple years ago, right? So eventually I had a milestone birthday. Like I said, I'm not a diva, I'm not a fashionista, but everybody wants a birthday outfit, right? So that's when I kind of started to shop, and I quickly realized that I definitely had gained weight because I ordered extra smalls and smalls like I had done pretty much my whole life. And yeah, those couldn't even get past my thighs. That did not work at all. So I ended up ordering mediums and larges. And here's the picture from my birthday. So I ended up wearing a jumpsuit. Now this is not the most flattering. Mind you, I had a good time, so a little bit tipsy. This was the end of the night, but it is a very good picture to show you what my weight looked like. If you can look close, you can kind of see it's in my face, but it's definitely around my belly, it's in my hips, my thighs, and my arms. Now, I carry weight pretty well. I would say I carry it like in my butt and my thighs, and when it starts to travel to my arms and my face, that's when it's getting excessive. And that's when I noticed during my birthday. Now, I still had a good time. I still had a really good time for my birthday, but I knew after that I needed to make a change, which is why I have this very weird photo right after that. I think this was like wanted to be another before picture because like I said, I was just noticing that, yeah, I had a few extra pounds, and so your girl took a picture and she was pinching it. So that's what that was. But when I weighed myself at this point, this was 145 pounds. So within a couple years, I gained, what would that be, like 25 pounds from, well, more if you consider the 107, but let's say in excess, it was 25 pounds. So after I took that picture, I started to do my normal workout, like from when or at least me, I'll speak for myself. When I was young, I knew exactly what I needed to do to go ahead and get snatched again. So I started doing that. And this time I noticed that it was not working. Like when I was way younger, it took 6 weeks. And as I got a little older, it turned to 8 weeks, maybe 12 weeks at the most. But this one, I was working my butt off. I was going to Orange Theory. I was doing everything. I was going outside, doing my long walks. I was moving my body like crazy, and I was not losing the weight. Now, I have an autoimmune disease, so I have inflammation all over my body. So if you continue to watch my videos, especially 75 hard ones where I come on here first thing in the morning, don't be scared. Don't be scared. That's me, but it's just me with a much puffier face. But doing all of this, controlling my diet, moving around more, my inflammation went down. But that's pretty much all that changed. My weight did not really go down. I was fighting for 3 pounds, plus and minus, for a very long period of time, like a very frustrating period of time. So this picture here is of me basically around the same size, and I'll have 2 of them because like I said, I was always a very small girl. So for me to all of a sudden have a little bit of curve to me, I mean, I liked it. It's just, I knew it was getting excessive. So like I said, without all the inflammation and with a little more toning, you know, my muscles were popping a little bit more. I still looked good, but much bigger than I would normally be. So after this, this picture here is me behind the bar because I decided to join some of my friends at one of my favorite bars and work there as a bartender and waitress. So I include this because when you see the next photo, you'll notice the biggest difference. So I did this for probably 6 to 8 months, from summer basically through fall, and I had an amazing time and it was a lot of fun. And this was a second job, so I was running around like crazy, but I worked at a bar/restaurant, so that means an excessive amount of food because everybody wants to make something new and wants you to try it. My closest friend there she still is the best bartender to this day, so she was always creating new drinks. So that was like a daily drink, and when I say a drink, I mean a cocktail, like with puree and fruit and all kind of stuff. So I had a good time, but it was excessive. So when you see this next photo, you will see the weight. So this was me taking my parents out. I think we went to like a blues club or something, which I can't wait till winter is over so I can go and do that kind of stuff again. But this was my heaviest. This was my heaviest. This was 170 pounds. Yeah, 170 pounds. At this point, I'm not sleeping well. My joints ache, my inflammation is insane. And mind you, I am somebody that is well versed in the difference of inflammation and bloat. And when I say inflammation, I mean gums bleeding, after my eyes. Like, it was excessive, it was unhealthy, and I hated going anywhere, I hated doing anything. Even in that picture, like this picture actually, I still look cute in the face and my hair was cute, but I still don't recognize that person as far as my body. So this is just a little bit closer picture, and while I mean the structure of my face, I guess you could say kind of looks similar, but I can see the puffiness, and right under there is where my double chin is. I hid it very well. I always made sure if somebody was taking my picture, they were way taller than me, or I made them hold the phone up. This is me in a little more casual setting, and this is basically what I started to dress like everywhere I went. A date, a party. I did not want to bring attention to myself. I certainly didn't want to wear anything that showed my figure. So again, 170 pounds. So past that point, when I realized I had gotten to 170 pounds, thankfully I didn't stay there long enough to where I made it a new set point for my body. My body didn't want that. Like 170 pounds, even it realized, like, bitch, this is too much. Like, you need to stop. So I did come down from 170, but back down to like 155, 158 pounds. Like, I could not break the 150s, and I was doing a lot. So during this time, I got on the carnivore diet, which helped a lot. It helped with the inflammation. That was the catalyst to how I lost that 15 pounds. But even still, I stalled and I couldn't change anything. Like, I just, again, same 3+ pounds. Incredibly frustrating, almost to the point, and I know this might sound dramatic, but it felt like a trauma, like it was traumatic to go through. I am not a lazy person, hence me doing one of the hardest challenges on the internet. And for me to, like I said, do HIIT workouts, if you don't know what Orange Theory is, maybe you've heard of berries, but basically you go in there and you move like a crazy person, lifting weights on the treadmill, on the rower for an hour. And I was doing that multiple times a week. I bought my own treadmill, so I was still moving my body. If I couldn't go outside, to go for a walk at least. I was just lifting weights. I was doing everything that should have led to some kind of result, and it never did, and it sucked. So at that point, because I'm fairly good with doing my own research, and I had already started watching people like Peter Attia and Dr. Marie, is it Dr. Marie Claver or Dr. Marie Claire? but she's a doctor. She's a gynecologist, so she teaches about hormones. So I started to realize that like this isn't just me, because I was having brain fog. Like I said, I wasn't sleeping. I was having all other type of problems, and it was really starting to drive me crazy. So I started doing a lot of research, reading books. I even taught myself how to read science, like scientific studies, because people will come on the internet and tell you one small piece of a scientific study to convince you to believe what they believe. So I started to learn how to read them so I can go in and check for myself, because I didn't want to leave it up to chance how to fix my body. I knew I needed to fix it. I don't know about you, but I think I'm cute enough to try to stay cute enough for a long time. I am fine with getting older. I'm fine with gaining weight as I age. I am fine with those changes, but this was unhealthy and excessive. So going to my general doctor and requesting his help and him to look at me like, oh, you're fine. You still look good. You still look good, but you're just getting older. This happens. That's bullshit. Don't ever let them tell you that, because that is not how aging goes. Aging gracefully and aging healthily, yeah, I made that up, that's fine, is totally doable. You just have to know what's wrong and know how to fix it. So after I started to realize those things, I basically got a team of doctors around me, and I kind of sort of fixed the problem. It's a work in progress. Nothing is perfect, but I am a ton better than what I was in those photos. So now I am at the point where I still don't sleep perfect, especially if I'm eating crap and stuff and everything else kind of goes out of whack. But I sleep better than I did before. My hormones they're never perfectly balanced because they still fluctuate throughout the month, but they're much better than they were. I've even had people come up to me and say that I've lost some kind of weight, and really all it was my body composition changing just from fixing my hormones. Even my thyroid, like I take a good amount of stuff and I feel better, and I'm excited now instead of being very sad and very depressed. And you're not gonna get me to cry on the internet. This is only like my 4th video. But going through that and being a person that's so accomplished in other parts of your life, to not be able to fix this thing, and it's your health, is so important. Yeah, so this is another photo of me at my biggest, and I'm surprised I let somebody take this picture, but it was at like a brunch in the city, so we had a bottle of champagne basically per person. So that's the only reason I even have those pictures, but I think for the most part we've gone through enough. I got one more, and this was the Beyonce concert, and I love those pants. I think you saw them in the other picture when I was at the bar also, but you can see how hippie I am and how thigh-y I am and what my arms look like and my face. So yeah, but that was, when was Beyonce? Last year? All right, so now we are going to get into the video that I took today, and this is my before photo, with the knowledge of knowing that while I won't be perfect in 75 days, I will have learned a lot and learned to trust myself, that when I say I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it, and at the 75 days, I will be better for it. So here we go, and I don't know, maybe I'll put it right here. Quiet, I don't know. So that's my before picture. So if you are still here and you made it to the end of this video, I deeply appreciate it. I deeply appreciate it. Like I said, not the easiest thing to do. For the past few years, I have been the person that has volunteered to be the photographer, has avoided as many pictures, and it's sad because tomorrow's not promised, and I'm missing out on pictures with my friends and my loved ones because I'm fat. Stupid. So if you're still here, please subscribe, because I will have a lot of videos coming up, and it's gonna be a fun ride. It is not gonna be an easy one. This is going to be incredibly difficult, but I'm ready for the challenge and excited for the change. So subscribe, comment down below if you've gone through a journey like this, or if you feel like you need to, and thumbs up, subscribe, and comment. And I will see you guys in the next one.